In 1982, Charlotte is at a birthday party at Freddy's restaurant. She sits alone near the stage, waiting to see marionette puppet show. Vanessa comes over and offers her a drink, but Charlotte does not want it. When Vanessa asks her to sit with the other kids, Charlotte says no one likes her and that Marionette is her only friends. Vanessa tells her Marionette will still be there later and takes her to the table just as the cake is served. While looking around, she sees a boy being led out the back door by someone dressed in Bonnie costume. She tries to tell adults, but they ignore her. She runs to the back door, even though Vanessa tries to stop her. Inside, she follows a sound and reaches a room where Bonnie is cleaning something, and the boy is lying unconscious. Charlotte quietly picks up the boy and runs off with him, but Bonnie spots her, grabs a knife, and starts chasing her. A few moments later, Charlotte stumbles onto the stage and screams for help. She puts the boy down and then collapses because she was stabbed while running away. Right then, the stage floor opens and she falls inside. Then, Marionette Puppet comes out holding her dead body. The news later reports her death, and the restaurant is investigated. In the end, officials say it was an accident and blame Charlotte for going into a forbidden area. Later, the company shuts down the restaurant. 20 years later, Vanessa wakes up from a bad dream and gets a call from Mike, who inviting her for dinner. She says yes, and Mike's sister Abby teases him about liking Vanessa, but Mike says they are just friends. As Abby leaves, she greets Mike's friend Jeremiah, who's there to help paint the house. While working, Jeremiah calls Vanessa a little crazy, but Mike defends her. They then discuss Mike's aunt, who tells scary stories about Killer Bear of Freddy's restaurant. Mike asks Jeremiah to keep his link to his aunt secret, so Abby does not get unwanted attention. On the school bus, Abby tells other kids about what happened to her. She says mascots at Fazfest attacked her, and she only lived because police officer Vanessa and Mike, who worked there as night guard, saved her. Some kids think she's nuts, others like her and invite her to lunch. One boy asks if she will ever go back to Fazfest. Abby says yes. In science class, Mr. Berg tells everyone they must finish their projects by Saturday. Then he criticizes event Fazfest. He says Fazfest is for fans of animatronics, which he thinks is silly and insult to real robotics. He warns that any student who skips the science fair will fail the class. Later, Berg reviews the projects and sees Abby's unfinished, so he removes her from the science fair because he only wants top-quality robots. Abby's new friend believes she's talented and can repair animatronics on her own. At home, Abby asks Mike if she can go visit animatronics, but he says no. Then she starts watching a TV show called Spectral Scoopers, where 3 people hunt for ghosts in old houses, and Mike leaves. At the restaurant, Vanessa tells Mike to stop pretending he can fix animatronics. Mike says he faced his own trauma through his dreams and thinks Vanessa should face her nightmares too. When Mike gets home, he finds a letter from Abby that says, "Gone to fix my friends." Mike rushes to the abandoned Freddy's restaurant, where he finds Abby upset because animatronics are gone. Mike apologizes for lying and says the robots were destroyed and the children's souls are now at peace. While leaving, Abby finds a glowing-eyed toy called Faz Talker and keeps it. Outside, Mike sees many Fazfest posters and one flyer saying Freddy is a murderer with a phone number. Later, the Spectral Scoopers team visits Freddy's restaurant where Charlotte was killed. They meet the security guard, Michael, who takes them inside the restaurant. He introduces the original animatronics. Right then, Lisa hears weird music, so she walks off alone to investigate. Meanwhile, Michael takes Alex to Kids Cove, and Rob finds scary marionette dolls in the tunnel, where the lights start flickering as he investigates. The bulb suddenly bursts, making him fall into the water. When he resurfaces, he's startled by a doll. Lisa follows the music into an old tunnel and ends up in a room with a big gift box. There, she realizes she is beneath the stage. Her eyes then land on the music box, which she closes. Just then, the gift box opens and Marionette attacks her. Alex hears Lisa scream and feels uneasy when Michael starts laughing. When Alex asks what is going on, mechanical arms grab his neck and kill him. In the tunnel, Rob hears the sound of water splashing. He turns and sees a doll fall into the water. Then he looks down in water. He sees many of dolls surrounding him and drag him underwater. After that, Michael goes under the stage and finds Lisa's body moving oddly. When she looks up, her eyes are glowing and her face looks like a marionette. She starts chasing him, so Michael runs outside the restaurant while she screams in anger. He smiles and says, Welcome back, Charlotte. The next day at the gym, Vanessa tries to work out but keeps imagining Bonnie. When the mask comes off, she sees her father William, the man who killed the children. His voice keeps repeating in her head, so she closes her eyes and focuses until the vision fades. But when she opens her eyes, he appears again, making her panic and run to the lockers. There she thinks Bonnie grabs her and she pulls out her gun, but it is only another gym member. Embarrassed and upset, Vanessa leaves the gym. At home, Vanessa decides to face her fears through her dreams. In her dream, she walks through her childhood house, finds her father William, and tells him she's not scared. Suddenly, all doors open and William chases her. She tries to escape, but the front door is locked and William threatens her with a knife. As she runs, she turns into her younger self and hides in the workshop where animatronics were built. She sees a creepy doll with glowing eyes. Then William finds her and says she belongs to him. Vanessa runs again, turns back into an adult, gets her police uniform and gun, and shoots William, knocking him over a railing. He keeps laughing and claiming her until she wakes up. Meanwhile, Mike watches Abby using Faztalker to speak to animatronics and feels unsure how to comfort her. That night, as Abby tries to sleep, she hears Chica's voice coming from Faztalker, asking for help. So Abby rides her bike and reaches Freddy's restaurant. Inside, she happily meets Chica, who welcomes her with a hug. The next day, Vanessa visits Mike, but he's not home. So she came in Abby's room, where Faztalker is making strange noises. Suddenly, Abby startles her. Then Abby proudly shows her a mini Chica robot. She says the real animatronics helped her make it, and mentions Freddy's restaurant, which worries Vanessa. Just then, Mike comes home with breakfast. Vanessa takes him aside to say Abby visited Freddy's restaurant, but Mike thinks Abby is only imagining things because of Faztalker. He then shows Vanessa a flyer and says he called the number on it and spoke with Charlotte's father. After hearing the murder story, Mike says he is tired of people who cannot move on, and they argue. Upset, Vanessa leaves. Afterward, Vanessa goes to Freddy's restaurant, finds Chica standing still, and then checks the room beneath the stage. Unaware that Charlotte is now possessing Lisa's body, she tries to reason with her. Charlotte demands that Vanessa disable the building's perimeter lock so animatronics can leave, but Vanessa refuses. When she turns around, Charlotte attacks her. Meanwhile, Abby wants to present her mini Chica doll at the science fair, but Berg hates it and tries to send her away. Abby refuses, so Berg pretends to accept it, then deliberately drops and breaks the mini Chica, acting like it was an accident. He then says he will give her full marks and tells her to go home, causing Abby to run away crying. She goes to the restaurant and hugs Chica for comfort. After hearing what happened, Chica offers to be Abby's science project, but asks for help first. On the other hand, Charlotte forces Vanessa to watch Abby through the security cameras. Then she threatens to kill Abby unless Vanessa gives her the password. Vanessa gives it, Chica says the code, and Abby types it into the computer. This removes all restrictions on animatronics, allowing Chica, Bonnie, and Freddy to leave the restaurant. Afterward, Abby calls a cab and sits in the cab with Chica, who pretends to be a person in a costume. At the same time, Mike visits Charlotte's father, Henry. Mike tells him that his younger brother was killed by William at Freddy's restaurant, and Henry believes William also killed Charlotte. While looking through Henry's photos and old news clippings, Mike notices a river ride at Freddy's restaurant that he had never seen before. Henry explains that only the old Freddy's restaurant had it. Mike then remembers seeing that ride in Abby's drawings and begins to worry. He calls the school and finds out Abby is not there. As Mike leaves to search for her, Henry gives him a music box that once helped Charlotte fall asleep. That evening, Mike reaches the old restaurant, but the front door is locked, so he climbs up and uses a window to get in. Inside, he turns on his flashlight and is frightened by the creepy animatronics, then leaves the area without noticing Lisa's body. While searching Abby, he hears knocking coming from the lockers, and when he opens one, a tied-up Vanessa falls out. He frees her, and she explains everything. They decide to go to the office to turn the lock back on. As they move, Vanessa says the only ghost there is Charlotte. After she was killed, Vanessa kept seeing her, full of anger, and only a music box could keep her calm. Suddenly, they hear a splash in the water and run, but Mike slips and falls in. Then Balloon Boy appears in the river and chases him. Vanessa pulls Mike out, and they run until they reach the office. There, Vanessa uses the computer to track animatronics and explains that Charlotte wants revenge on the adults who ignored her. Mike then tells Vanessa to go into town and distract animatronics while he tries to shut down the signal. At the science fair, Abby shows Chica to Berg, but he calls it nonsense and thinks it's just a person in a costume. Then he goes to classroom, takes his keys from there, and heads to leave the school. Along the way, he spots Chica in a classroom and peeks through the door window. Suddenly, Chica grabs his neck and pulls him through the glass. Terrified, Berg runs and hides under a table, but Chica drags him out, then grabbed its head with hands, lifted him up, and pressed hard to kill him. Meanwhile, Abby wins the science fair because of Chica. Right then, Mike starts hacking the system. Chica notices the breach and turns on all creepy animatronics. Soon, Mike finds Freddy and radios his location to Vanessa. Suddenly, he hears noises getting closer and uses his flashlight to check the open office. Meanwhile, Freddy sneaks into a garage just before the door closes, and Bonnie appears outside a girl's window. While driving, Vanessa hears something on the roof of her car and panics when she sees Foxy on the windshield. She drives wildly to shake him off, but the car goes off the road and crashes, causing her to hit her head. Foxy then attacks Vanessa, and she moves to the other seat. Foxy keeps attacking and tries to grab her through window, but she fights him off and manages to get back to the driver's seat and drive away. Right then, Freddy breaks into the house and frightens a middle-aged couple, accusing them of ignoring Charlotte and letting her die at Freddy's restaurant. Outside, Vanessa keeps driving with Foxy on her car, then suddenly slams on the brakes in front of the house. The sudden stop sends Foxy flying through the window, crashing into Freddy and knocking both of them out. Then Vanessa tells the couple to run away. At the same time, the girl lets Bonnie into her room. After talking, Bonnie goes downstairs, grabs a knife, and attacks her mother, but she dodges the strike. When Bonnie tries again, the girl steps in to protect her mom. Back at restaurant, creepy Freddy suddenly appears in front of Mike, and Mike quickly puts on the bear mask, so Freddy mistakes him for another robot and walks away. Then Balloon Boy shows up with a loud noise. Annoyed, Mike rips off Balloon Boy's head and tosses it. Glowing eyes light up the open office, revealing Freddy and Chica getting closer, and then the vent bursts open as creepy Bonnie appears too. But Mike quickly seals the vent and returns to the computer to find a way to shut everything down. Suddenly, the lights go out, and Chica appears beside him, so he quickly puts on the mask, stopping her attack, and she walks away. Foxy then shows up, but the mask doesn't fool him. As Foxy is about to attack, Mike finally cuts the signal controlling animatronics, and they all power down. This saves the mother and daughter from Bonnie's attack, letting them escape. Afterward, Mike calls Vanessa to share the success, but then sees a new signal coming from his house. Chica is there with Abby. When the shutdown hits, Chica's body breaks apart. Marionette jumps out and attacks Abby, reactivating the signal and waking animatronics again. Back in restaurant, Mike begs the children's spirits trapped in animatronics to help save Abby. Meanwhile, Vanessa's car breaks down, but Jeremiah finds her and drives her to Mike's house. Inside, Vanessa follows the Faz talker's voice to Abby's room and sees Charlotte possessing the girl. She tries to run away, but Charlotte knocks her to the ground and starts choking her. Just then, Mike arrives with music box, causing Charlotte to scream and release Abby. When they try to escape, the animatronics return and block all the doors and windows. Right then, Michael shows up and reveals he's Vanessa's brother. He says he wants to continue their father's evil work and admits he organized Fazfest. Then asks Vanessa to join him, but she refuses, so he orders animatronics to kill them. Just then, Foxy drags Bonnie out the window and smashes his head. It turns out the spirits of the dead children returned into the robots. Freddy destroys his double. Bonnie kills Foxy, and Chica rips the head off her double. Michael tries to escape, but Jeremiah knocks him out with one punch. After that, the friendly animatronics stop moving and collapse. Then a boy's ghost appears and tells Abby their souls are finally going to the afterlife. He warns Mike that once he is gone, he will no longer be able to protect them. Mike asks who he means, but the ghost vanishes without answering. Then Mike starts leaving with the Abby and tells Vanessa to stay away from them. As she watches them leave, Marionette jumps on her and possesses her body. Later, 3 teenagers sneak into the abandoned restaurant, find Bonnie, laugh at it, and leave, unaware that Bonnie's eyes start glowing.